Welcome back to All In with Colin. I am really happy to have another voice on my show this week here on Trust the Profits on YouTube. As I've talked about, it's all about getting your voices out there. Horse racing is such a fun and exciting puzzle that we all try to solve. And so hearing everyone else's different opinions is what this show is all about. So I'm so excited this week to welcome in Keith, who is at Each and Every Stride on Twitter. And what attracted me about Keith was the success I saw you having on Stable Duel. I continued to see you rising to the top, and I was so glad to see that you had watched our video with Matthew DeSantis on Stable Duel strategies, and hopefully that triggered your nice hot streak into winning some of the Stable Duel, or at least finishing in the top 10 on the Stable Duel contest you were entering.
Totally. I appreciate you having me, Colin. And, like I mentioned on the tweet, just so helpful, you and Matt breaking down different strategies on Stable Duel. And, as even as horse players, we look at every race differently. And, that's what makes it great. Just, everybody's opinion. And, at the end of the day, everybody's having fun and hopefully making some money. So that's great.
What's been the best strategy or biggest game changer as far as your success at Stable Duel? What did you kind of tweak that you found success with?
I've actually looked at a lot more replays and a lot more of just, you know, kind of just going with my instincts and not trying to overthink things. At Stable Duel in the past, I would just kind of, I would kind of toss a horse and then I would bring them back in and kind of be in between with my opinion. Now I'm just kind of focusing on, my stronger opinions and really just going with it. Like I said with replays, it's funny you bring up Stable Duel. I'm actually in the Cinnaboya $5 one tonight, and I just had a winner, number 7 Zig on the 6-1 morning line. So it's big to get a winner like that. And the reason why I picked that horse, just for an example, is I watched the replay, finished well down the stretch. Jockey actually wasn't really asking that much, and here we are. We're actually a winner race 3, just set up by the pace and won by a nose. So it's great when it works out like that.
You join the show and you get your winners. That's what this show's had some success in handing out winners as people join. They start winning Stable Duel, and then there you go. You join the show and you get a winner right off the bat. At 6-1 is nice. Stable Duel I've struggled with a little bit. I've been playing a lot of the free games to try out those different strategies. And obviously, right now it's so tough that you can't play the New York circuit because that's kind of where all my time and attention goes to right now. So I just dive in on the free games, and once Saratoga's over, I'll get back into playing some of the others, Del Mar, Gulfstream. It is a fun way to spend less money as opposed to playing an entire card and still have interest in being able to handicap and have some skin in the game as you're watching the races on a Tuesday night at the Cinnaboya Downs, which I normally would not be watching at all.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like you said, that's a great point. Even if it's like a $15 entry or obviously the free ones, it's a great ride for 3+ hours just to enjoy and know that you don't have to. I mean, you could bet some on the side if you really like something, but I could even get into that a little bit more. But really, I just let it ride with the Stable Duel, and just having more stronger of an opinion is really what led me into winning more. I've actually hit a little bit of a cold streak, but I'm hoping that ends soon.
Me as well. So we're going to end that cold streak by diving into Saratoga for this Thursday. I figured we'd have you on and do a little bit of a pick 3 for the late pick
Thank you.
3. We got race 8 is where it begins on Thursday, August 4th. And it starts off with the Ali Dar Stakes with race 8 going a mile and 1/8 on the dirt. We have the return of a notable horse by the name of Art Collector, which many of you are probably familiar with. Where did you go in this race? Who did you land with on top?
Yeah, so this is I know Saratoga is always producing great cards. So this is a nice little sequence here for Thursday afternoon, and Art Collector, defending Alidar champion, won this race last year. Obviously, I'm gonna throw out the Saudi Cup race. It's just something that they experimented with, and now coming back, it's actually, if you look at the resume, is running, grade ones, grade twos, and even grade threes, and it's just looking at this workout pattern. I really, I love it. It's just consistent. We got a bullet on July 30th with a quick 3 furlong work, and obviously art collectors a must include for me. I always you always wonder about the Saudi bounce, and the horses shipping back, and so I'm not going to single art collector just on that, but obviously I'm going to use, and there's just not that much speed in this race too, as I see. So much speed. So 5 for me to start, and if I'm also going to include that one that I skipped over, number 1, Mystic Knight, and this one just showing consistent works. You get Irad again, Irad Ortiz, the jockey again, off the 3 month layoff, and just this horse just seems to sit back and make a move, like one big move, and just if our collector is just not on top of his game, and that could happen actually with the long layoff. This horse could be showing up late, and I know that this is a test in class for this horse. Hasn't really run against these calibers, but winning, coming in great form at the optional claiming level, and Irad and Chad, and I just want to include this one. And what were you thinking to start here, Colin?
Yeah, obviously great connections. I noticed that Art Collector had some trouble getting back from Saudi and lost 3 weeks of training. Bill Mott had mentioned for sure that Art Collector was not a fan of that turf or the course over in Saudi, so that was probably some of the explanation of why he didn't do so well. I also noticed those 2 turf works in there, which was interesting. Had been training on the dirt and then suddenly comes back and trains twice on the turf. Made me wonder, is there kind of a thought process of maybe moving the horse to the turf because they noticed that maybe something wasn't going right on the dirt? Then he comes back on July 16th. It shows up as a bullet. You got to be careful for those bullets when there's only 5 other horses that race that day. So don't be caught by that. But one thing here that I like to look at in these stakes races is class. Our collector is the only grade 1 winner. And for me, I'm going to take the chance that Art Collector takes this pretty easily. So I did single Art Collector in this race. If I would to go somewhere else, I have a soft spot for King Fury, who is one of those horses that I'll always remember where I was because I was out with my son at a playground on the day that he won at 18-1 in the Lexington prior to the Kentucky Derby last year. And I missed getting the bet in because I was playing with my son on the playground, and I went to put it in, and sure enough I saw that he had already won the race. So that was one of those moments of, oh my god, I just missed out on a $38 winner. And then King Fury, who then was going to become someone that I loved in the Kentucky Derby, scratched for that race.
Right.
But really, ran his last race on the synthetic. It just hasn't been as consistent as Art Collector. I use Brisnet as my past performances. When you see all the hundreds that Art Collector's putting up and no one else is really coming close to that, aside from Mystic Knight, who has put up 2 triple-digit Brisnet speed figures on his last 2 races, the one thing that concerned me is 2 for 6 as favorite. Probably won't go off as the favorite here. He is the one that's stepping up into try the stakes from an optional claiming. But I'm going to try and just take a stand with Art Collector and hope that he wheels back. Mott's got him ready, and Saez just puts him out front, and he buries this field, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, you made some great points there. I mean, he could just go to the front and just, outclass this field. And, that's definitely a great play. I mean, if you want to just single the horse. And, I used also number 6, Mass Parade, who's a grade 3 winner at the same distance. It's just in sharp form from Churchill, and Rosario climbs aboard, and third last in last year's Jim Dandy. So, there is some back class there, but obviously I could have singled Art Collector. I just wanted a little coverage, just in case if the Saudi bounce is real. And but yeah, I'm going 156 in race 8 there at Saratoga.
Yep, I can't blame you for that. Bull Harbor is 0 for the last 19, does move to the Todd Pletcher barn with Pratt up. I'll let him beat me based on that 0 for the last 19, even with the move to the
Right.
Pletcher barn. Chef's Chief is kind of just a journeyman, 33 races with only 5 wins. I'll pass on that as well. If I didn't have that soft spot for King Fury, Mask Parade might be one that I would look towards. Using the Brisnet Prime Power number, he is second, 9 points behind Art Collector. But I am going to single Art Collector in that first leg of this pick 3. We move on to race 9 is a mile on the turf, optional claimer for $80,000. A pretty solid field here. There's one reason I decided to single Art Collector was to maybe go a little bit deeper in these next 2 legs, but go short. So I have a small ticket. Where did you go on top in race 9?
On top, I do like number 2, Atone. And just looking at these numbers, just running against, these numbers look good against these, rest of the field. I've been in all sorts of graded races, and I just was looking at the works. I love the work pattern, and this horse has just been in the circuit a while, and just watched the replay. It still was beaten in last race, but was still a game second. And I like when horses actually hold on even when they're defeated, and just to kind of show that they still wanted to win, and they didn't throw in the towel. I like that effort, and so I'm gonna include number 2, Atone, and just go a little here. I'll go with number 1, Amariardi, if I'm saying that right. And then you get Pratt on this number 1, and so you get Pratt and Chad Brown. So I watched the replay. I've been watching a lot of replays of this, and this horse covered a lot of ground. And the note does say that it altered and rallied, which I really agree with that comment. And then works back to a nice bullet on July 17th, and then a nice easy work on July 30th. Just kind of gives me the idea that if this horse can just kind of save ground and kind of make a run at it. It was full of run at the end. It just was covering 5 wide. So I like that. I like how Pratt jumps aboard. And then I'm going to go with number 7, Good Governance. This is Chad Brown and Irad Ortiz combo. This one, just could sit back and make a move. I like actually I read on these horses where you can just work out a trip and just kind of, be a magician as far as, just working out a trip and just cutting through and making that one move. Last summer, this horse was going, and with Irad, I didn't want to get beat by that. So I am going to go 1-2-7 in race 9.
Yeah, I agreed with you on the 1. I like the fact that this horse has run 3 times at Saratoga and 2 winners. The Saratoga, I like to see horses that have had success over the Saratoga dirt. I don't think you can underestimate that. And horses that haven't had success, sometimes I'm more likely to throw out. I went with 9, Big Everest on top. So although I had the 1, I liked Big Everest. I take that back. I had trouble between the 9 and the 5, but those are the 2 that I had put on top. And the reason that I had trouble deciding between the 2 was because Rosario had been riding on the 9. So I liked the 9 as a horse, but with Rosario making the move and switching over to the 5, it made me think that Rosario might have more confidence in the 5 Floriform for Bill Mott. And so for that reason, I kind of went back and forth between the 2, so I'm going to include the both of them. The reason that I liked the 9 Big Everest, third off the layoff, the last 2 races off the layoff, I like to compare the 3-year-old season versus the 4-year-old season, and I like to see progression from their 3-year-old season up into their 4-year-old season, especially looking at speed figures. And this horse has just continued to improve. and in the last two races has shown some early speed and has carried that speed right through to the end. The little cutback is nice, especially considering the horse won at a mile and a 16th, so I'm not concerned about mile. I love Christophe Clement on the turf. And so although Rosario jumps off, you still have Jose Ortiz up. So it's not like it's a gigantic drop off from a jockey standpoint. So I went with the 9 Everest, Big Everest up. And then Floriform, like I said, the fact that Rosario switched over is just what caught my eyes. Horses by Into Mischief, someone that you always want to pay attention to on the turf. I hadn't really looked as much into that 2 that you had put on top for your ticket at home, but I think you made some good points there, and so that may be a horse that I will actually add on to my ticket, since I was only a $9 ticket on this leg, or a $9 ticket total. So I think I might add in that too to cover myself based upon what you've kind of noticed on that. Anybody else that you looked at or had concerns about in this race?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at the other contenders, obviously this number 4 Bye Bye Melvin is, coming off a long layoff, but if you look at some of these figures back in the spring of last year at Pimlico and Keeneland, I mean, this horse could definitely, if it's in form, it could definitely hit the super and the try. I mean, if I'm playing exotics, I would use this horse underneath, definitely. And this
One,
is Johnny V with a Graham Motion. Yep.
yeah, one thing I liked about that, when you look at those long layoffs, I always like to see at least 4 workouts spaced between 7 to 10 days. And this horse not only fits that bill of having 4 workouts since July 8th, actually had 5 if you include June 30th. The fact that the last 4 workouts were all 6 furlongs is something that piqued my attention. Is these aren't just quick 4 furlong. Running them longer on the turf would hopefully make you think that he is in form for this. There's also a big drop in class, considering he ran in some grade 1 and grade 2s when he was running last year. So interesting horse. I did not have him in my ticket. I think I'll skip and let him beat me
Right.
in this one here. So we
Yeah,
move
that's the
on.
way I looked at it.
Sorry, we move on to the third leg. 5.5 furlongs on the turf and allowance. Again, I had a little bit of a tricky decision to make here. Is why I liked being able to go single with Art Collector. Was what helped me to include a few more in this last race, and I think that we have completely different horses, so this should be interesting to see where you landed and if I can convince you to maybe add someone on your ticket. Where'd you go on top?
Sounds good, Colin. Thank you. I'm going with number 4, Freedom of the Press, as my top pick. Now, I actually watched this replay, and there's 2 of my horses are coming out of the same race. Uh, I still like how this horse finished to hold 5th. Was actually chasing a 21-1 opening quarter, and really was pressing fast on that. Now, I love the cutback with this horse. Now we're getting to 5.5, so it could just sit a nice, second or third spot and just make one move. I really, I like this horse just to finish strong, hopefully to get the win, for my sake. And so I do like that. We get, Johnny V stays aboard. And, I also like Stuck on Kitten, who actually is coming out of the same race. And this one closed in traffic. I don't know if you saw this race. It was like about 5 horses just finishing near the wire within about 4 lengths, and just trying to finish in a crowded space. I definitely saw this horse interested in moving up, and the cutback might be a little bit of a concern for me, but just considering what I saw, just the willingness to try to run there through the seam with just no opening. I think that race could be live. I'm hoping so. I'm gonna include that one. Gaff Leon's jumps aboard, so we're going to include that one also. What were you seeing in this race, Colin?
Yeah, I misspoke. The numbers kind of screwed me up on this one, but we agree on the 4 Freedom of the Press on top. As I've always talked about on my shows, this is kind of the 3rd or 4th week in a row. The angle that I really love is horses cutting back in distance, who have shown early speed and have been in first place in the stretch run at that longer distance. So Freedom of the Press, if you look at the stretch run on the last 6 races, 4 firsts, a second, and then a fifth. So if you throw that fifth out, that's exactly what I like to see at that 6 furlong and 7 furlong distance. So now he's cutting back, or she's cutting back to 5.5 furlongs. And hopefully that cutback is what fits perfectly into what Freedom of the Press is looking to do. I had the exact same concern on Stuck on Kitten. Again, another angle I love, as I've always mentioned, is Kitten's Joy, but I like Kitten's Joy long on the turf, not short on the turf. And so my concerns are that a horse that has shown a little bit lack of early footing on those last 2 races at smaller distances might have trouble keeping up at this distance here as well. The other horse that I liked was the 3R Reposado Loca, I guess, if I'm going to be correct. There's a little concern that there's only 8% on the first time on the sire side, but I do like the big jump up in figures from the maiden to the claiming, 66 to an 80 using the Brisnet speed figures, and I like the fact that you get Saez up, who does a pretty similar job to Jara Murillo in putting the horses out on front on the early speed. So a little bit of a price there I'm going with on that 3, but that's where I'm going. Who did you have third?
Yeah, I like the number 7, Miss Domina. I was hoping for a little bit of a higher, morning line on that. I was saying actually, I before the morning lines came out, I was actually making some of my own morning lines handicapping this card, and I had this horse at 9-2, but it's a 5-2 on the line. And I really like this work pattern that I see here. Now you look at this on July 17th, we work it, and pretty easy work there at 49 and change. But look at this work on July 24th. I mean, this is a first out of 56. It caught my eye. I mean, this horse could just be ready to go. We got Manny Franco in the irons, and George Weaver, and just since this horse, I think, was just outclassed last time in the Goldwood, and just comes back to more of an ideal spot. So I'm just hoping it could work out a trip, and I like that bullet caught my eye, so I am going to include that 7.
Yeah, and 47 and change is a pretty quick workout there as well. I'll be remiss to not mention that my brother's name is Corey, so the 8 Fast Corey is someone that I'm going to leave off and probably be kicking myself. The reason that I left that horse off was I saw that it had been under Brad Cox, who's been on fire, but it's moving out of the Brad Cox barn, so I was okay moving that horse over. The 6 Ogotten Girl, what I saw there was that I feel like this horse really prefers the dirt over the turf. The dirt numbers are much higher as opposed to what the horse has done on the turf. On the fast track of 3 races, a win in 2 seconds. Turf 7 races, a win 2 seconds 2/3. So not huge difference, but in needing to make a decision on that horse, I'm hoping, taking a guess, that horse prefers the dirt over the turf and doesn't beat me here.
Yeah, no, you make some good points here. Just definitely, I wish I could have included more, but my ticket was pretty big to begin with. I love the dollar minimum in these sequences, even though I know it's a pick 3 where people are going to spread. But I mean, if you're right on 1 or 2 of these prices and you beat a favorite, this is still going to pay. So I'm a big fan of doubles and pick 3s, especially in the Naira circuit.
So I have to adjust my ticket here while I'm adding that 2 atoned in the second leg, which will make my ticket $12 instead of $9. And let me update that and put it through. Anybody else that you had your eye on in this race, or did that sort of cover it?
Yeah, I think we covered everything. I really, as I said, I think the 4. I mean, other than Art Collector, I think the 4 looks pretty strong. And once I saw that 9-2 morning line, I was all over it. I think you're not going to get 9-2 on this horse, though. You're probably going to get more, 7-2, 5, even 3-1 or something like that. It's going to get bet down a little bit, but I like that cutback angle that you mentioned, and how the horse is forwardly placed. So we'll roll the dice with that one.
Who are you referring to? Freedom of the Press?
Yeah, freedom of the
Yeah.
press. I do like that horse. Probably, I mean, other than Art Collector, I want to make it my best bet of the sequence. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree that those are the two who I would also, and if 9-2 is the money line, I think that I'll be hammering that. And we'll see what happens with this stuck on kitten. I always say kitten's joy is longer on the turf, but I've been bitten before on that. Tyler hasn't had the best start here at the Saratoga meet with only 3 wins so far. So that was another thing that I highlighted in the red. But maybe second off the layoff, that horse has an opportunity to improve as well. Thanks so much for doing this for me. It's great. Hopefully we can continue the winning. Our tickets are going across the bottom there for Thursday, August 4th, the late pick 3. My ticket is $12. I'm singling Art Collector, then going 9152 with the 431. I hope Keith's atoned gets me putting that 2 in, makes it a right decision. Keith's ticket's $27, 156 over the 217 over the 147. Always great to do this. I'm sorry my iPad wasn't working today. That's usually a feature of this show. We'll get that figured out for next time. Continue
Appreciate
your best.
You having me on.
Continue your success on Stable Duel. We'll be in touch, and we'll continue to. We'll do this again.
Thank you very much for having me, Colin, and always nice chatting with you and talking horses. And we'll be in touch soon.